We're up and running. Good morning, good morning, good morning. No surprise here today, of course. This will be the last one for a while, because with the paper I'm going to do today, I've cleared my sizing calendar. There's nothing on it. It's empty for the next couple of weeks. And I think all of our printers now have got enough work for a couple of weeks. So the next stream will be something else, not this. My apologies for doing the same thing day after day after day. I don't get to choose the work schedule here. I just have to pick the one with the highest priority. I'm sorry. More soup. The paper today is Murata paper. It's thicker paper, it's longer, it's heavier paper longer. So I've got to be really careful today to get a good, you know the word, tappuri. We've got to get a good tappuri flow. Lots of liquid flowing across, not so much that it stands up in pools, but a good thorough coating on the paper. The printers are nervous. If I'm not so careful with this, the paper will pill up. You know, we've heard about this. We know the story here. The size has been warming up. I made one little goof this morning, actually. I came up here, before I went to the pool, I came up here to turn everything on. And it was dark, and I didn't have my glasses. So no problem, I can find the switch. But it turned out I had it set for 40 degrees instead of 50. And I discovered this about 10 minutes ago when I came up here. So I cranked it up to 50, but it's not quite there yet. Someone was talking about this the other day. To maximize the flow, you want the air to go inside. So you want to flow as much liquid as possible. Hold it at just the right angle so it doesn't bubble. Oops. Oh, there's still a little bit of a lump. It's not all melted. Look at this. Okay, that was really a bad goof with the temperature. It's not all melted yet. So we're going to have to do a bit of a reshuffle of our schedule this morning. That's going to take maybe 5 minutes, maybe a bit more. The fastest way is to swing it upside down and swirl the bottle to create a whirlpool. Is the gas turned off? We haven't had the gas on. This is the sizing left over from when I did this on Saturday. So I didn't cook up a new batch. I made four liters on Saturday. So thank you for the reminder, but no, the gas stove is off. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so now, as I said, because it's only 40 degrees in there, I goofed on the temperature. We can't start just yet with the sizing. We've got to give a few minutes to warm up. So we have to switch to plan B. Instead of sizing first and show and tell later, I have no choice but to do it the other way around. We've got a couple of packages here today. I have a small little package with something inside that I've forgotten because it came, oh my God, it came ages ago. Well over a month ago. There's a little packet. And I have, to counteract that, I have another big one. But this is not one of our framed print deals. This is some kind of print just coming in a package. So is backwards day a thing? I don't know. The paper is out. Thank you again for that reminder. 2 packages are out. It's Ayumi-san today. She's working on one of the prints from the Japan Journey series. And Yuki-san, she's working on DF10, another batch of those. So yeah, we're getting up and running here. What is this? I don't remember. Oh, yeah. I don't know how much you know, so how much to explain. I don't know. Let's open it and I'll show you the print. This is 20th century stuff. This is not an old antique. This will be something made 1990, 1995, somewhere around there. I don't know. Let's have a look and see. We need to cut it or just slide it out. I don't know. Yeah, it's going to come out. Oh, look at that. Whoops. Let's get it out of the plastic so we can see it. It's a 1986. What did I say? 1990. That was two. I don't know. It's 1986, it says. And this is a 20th century print made by a designer artist called Masao Ido, or Ido Masao in the Japanese way. And with the change in our system in the past year, that we're having to do more 20th century prints in the shop downstairs, we've been hunting auction sites and exchanging prints with dealers downtown. Stuff they don't want, we exchange back and forth. A bunch of different sources. We've got prints coming in these days. We never would have had this a year ago. But look at this. It's an edition print. Our own prints are never editioned. What's this all about? What are you doing? Bubble, 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 boil and trouble. Again, it's the kind of print that we wouldn't have had in our shop. No, it's not oil-based. It's a normal water-based wood block print, completely Japanese traditional style. He's not using an Echizen Hosho type paper. And this is of great sadness to us over the past half a year or so. This guy's a nice print designer, does great work, but he used crap paper for his prints. Either he didn't think about it or didn't know or didn't care. This one has got lots of pulp in it. It's a very pulpy paper. It's still washi. It's not Echizen. It's just a generic washi full of pulp. So it's maybe, this is now 1986. So this one's been preserved quite well. It's pretty good. Some of them we get are just awful. They have mold, fox. When the paper is not good paper, if it gets anything but the best perfect treatment, it picks up trouble right away. The best papers, you know, the ones with only mulberry and alum in them, and the Tororo Aoi, they will last. Even when they're abused, they will still come through to a large degree. Anyway, this one's okay. As I said, it must have been treated very, very nicely. And what we're seeing, the picture itself, it's the, what do you call it? The Jidai Matsuri in Kyoto. Ido Masao usually does landscape stuff. It's what 99% of his work is landscape. But he has done some figures as well. It's Jidai Matsuri. And it's a very, very, very pleasant print. Very nicely done. This is a simplistic style. He hasn't tried to do anything like ukiyo-e faces or whatever. And it harkens back to the old days of painting when they do these sort of fake funny clouds in the back rather than trying to actually draw distant landscapes. It's very much rooted in a traditional Japanese painting style. And yet it's, what's the word? It's cinematic. It's like, looks like a scene from a movie. The camera is going to pan across this parade of people. It's a very, very, very nicely done print. What's the story? This one came to me from Yahoo Auctions. Somebody else bid. So there's 2 bids on it. We're over here. There were 2 bids, and I won it at $52.50. Plus, it says, under the $52.50, it says chakubarai. So postage wasn't determined at the time of the bidding. He just sent it. He sent it postage due. The postage is paid by the receiver. You've seen this. Some of the streams we've done downstairs. The mailman, the post office guy, comes at about 9 o'clock during our stream, and I have to run up and pay him for a package that's arrived. Someone's got this Chicken Meister. It does look like a movie poster, doesn't it? Does that belittle it? I don't think so. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful print. But it does, you're right, it does look like a movie poster. We could see the light right up, Samurai Alive, or whatever. Sadako's here this morning. Good morning, good morning. Was it too late, Sadako, when you got home last night? I was a bit, I warned you if it was going to be too late last night. We went for dinner last night with a friend. There was an acquaintance / friend visited the shop yesterday afternoon. And the three of us went for dinner last night. And talked. I talked too much, I'm sure, whatever. Okay, getting hotter. We're almost there. A couple more minutes on this temperature. A couple more minutes. Let me put this out of the way safely. Yeah, we've still got a couple of minutes till the liquid is warm enough. So let's have a look at this, something a lot smaller. The artist on that print was Ido Masao. I don't know, whatever, if we type it in the Japanese was Ido, Dave, slow down. Ido Masao is the guy's name. Very, very, very well known. Maybe he's no. My guess would be my age plus a few. Maybe I'm 74 in a few minutes. So maybe he's 80 now. I don't know. We could find out. So I'm saying maybe the temperature is why it was feeling stickier last time. Maybe I made the same mistake. I don't think it would be this, because today I instantly realized, even touching the heater, oh my God, it's not hot enough. What's going on? And if it had been 40 the other day, I would have figured that out. Ido Masao is 80. Yeah, that sounds about right. So my age plus 5 or 6. This is fun too. We get this now and then. When you get prints from, I don't know, packages from, you know, we talk about this guy, we're getting the prints off the back of a truck. There's this junk dealer who comes around. That type of person, they also put things up on auction and stuff like that. And they frequently, we see it this, when they send you the goods from a small packet from an auction, they do this. And these are Japanese postage stamps. They're not new ones. They're old stamps. Not antiques like 1,000 years ago, but they will be dating back, I don't know, 40, 50, 60. They don't make like 10 yen and 50 yen stamps like this anymore. And to make up normal postage, the guys had to put a whole bunch of them on. And the reason they do this is because he's saving himself about 5 or 7% on postage costs. There's, what do you call them? The bucket shops. Places of shops that buy beer tokens or postage stamps or concert tickets or something at a bit of a discount. Here, I think they were called bucket shops. There's a big one in Japan called Daikokuya. They have a branch near here in Asakusa. And for example, your company might give you a little Christmas gift, and it might be 10 beer tokens. A beer token means it's like 3,000 yen, and you can use it at the supermarket to buy beer. But if you happen to be the people that don't drink beer, it's no good to you. So you take it to a bucket shop, and they will buy them from you at a discount. Maybe they will give you 80% of the value or 90% of the value. And they will turn around in their shop and sell it for 95% of the value. That's how they make their margins. So anyway, the same thing works with postage stamps. It's possible when you buy postage stamps at the post office, you can buy them at a discount. Take them to the bucket shop, sell them there at a little bit less discount, and you're going to save this much. And these guys do that. So we get these old stamps. It's very, very rare these days to even see stamps on a package. But they're still legal tender. Even though they were purchased at a discount shop, a postage stamp is a postage stamp, and it's legal tender. It's not a pawn shop. They don't take old guitars or kimono. There's other shops. There are pawn shops in Japan. These guys deal in stamps, coins, tickets, beer tokens, book tokens. that kind of stuff. Daikokuya. Okay, be careful with the Daikokuya link because there's lots of different companies in Japan called Daikokuya. There was even a woodblock print called Daikokuya. Okay, here, I think this is maybe the same one. These guys are doing, oh, brand name. They're yeah. Daikokuya never deals in fakes or knockoffs. Yeah, they're buying, what do you call them? I don't know, Coach handbags and stuff like that. Yeah. The little one nearby here, they don't do the handbags and stuff. They just do tickets. I really don't remember what's in here. I have no idea. Do they deal in chocolate egg tokens? Yes, maybe. Have to go and see if I can set them up. Oh, it's obviously match label prints, is it? Oh, look at this. What have we got here? What have we got here? Ooh. This could be good news, it could be bad news. How do I get into this package? It's not wood block. Pack them up and toss them out. It would have been a nice little collection of match label prints, except that they are printed matter. They are not wood block prints. Out they go. Well, this guy's doing. What on earth are we looking at? Horses dancing? Figure this one out. Negative and positive. Yeah. So. It's too bad. They were advertised on the auction as being woodblock prints, and maybe the guy couldn't tell. It's not a question of being scammed. They really do look like woodblock prints, but they're not. They're just little labels. So out they go. Pass them on to somebody who wants some. It's too bad. That would have been a nice little item for the collection. Okay, I do believe our size is going to be ready. It's time to get to work. Sorry for the sidetrack. Let's get a brush dipped. We'll be using our fluffiest, best brush today. What's the best place to get the camera? That should do it. We're going to need the full length of the runway today. The paper is long. We're going to need the full runway. Those were not Hokusai horses, not at all. They were 20th century horses. Uru Shibata did some horses like that. That's a little bit skimmed from his stuff. Okay, late start. It's now 8:20. We're 20 minutes behind schedule, but whatever. Things can't be helped. Let's finally get to work. How much was the loss? No, a couple of hundred yen. I have no idea. I don't have a sticker for me here, whatever. I don't even know. With something like that, sight unseen, not being sure what it was, I would not have paid more than a few hundred yen for that. Okay, how many sheets do we have here? I took 13 sheets of takenaga and I sliced it into thirds. So we're going to have 13 times 3 sheets here. So I've got to get moving. This is going to take time. 39, thank you. Did I need that? Let's roll. Okay, I'm also, the flicker. I've been fighting the flicker. Lots of people had ideas. I've chased them up. OBS does not have the settings that people have told me it does. My version of OBS must be a different version. Maybe we're talking Mac Windows, I don't know. I've hunted for the settings that people asked me to change. I looked in the camera, I cannot find any settings between 50, 60 hertz. The camera automatically obviously understands what it's doing. I have tried and tried and tried. Then a few minutes before the stream today, I tried something else. Do you remember when we went into the next room the other day, there was no flicker over there. And I had unplugged the camera and plugged it into a plug in a different room. So maybe something is happening with the circuits. No go, because today I ran an extension cord from the room here. The camera is plugged into the circuit in the next room. And we're still flickering. So I'm really now not sure what to do. The camera, I guess, is at the end of its life, and it may be time to get down to Akihabara. Looking good. Are we tapuri? Maybe. Get down to Akihabara and get a couple more. The laptop is indeed plugged into the extension cord, yes. The laptop and the camera are on the same circuit. They're in the same socket right at my feet. But last stream we tested this. We turned this one off, still flicker. We turned that one off, still flicker. We turned both of them off, no flicker. But I need something to work with. I can't run in the dark. And remember, it's not just the Handycam. It's the MacBook camera. This one's flickering. This camera in my computer. So I don't think it's a setting on the Handycam. I really don't. I heard a few moments ago, I heard the door at the bottom of the stairs closed, and that means Ayano-san must be here. She comes early, ate something, and goes for a run these days. You've heard her talk about this. And now she's at work, and it's not going to be too much of a fun day for her. Because Friday afternoon, I sent that email about the gift print. And there are a lot of people who are looking for a gift print this year. I don't know. We didn't process any of the orders over the weekend, and her inbox has, in the order file of her inbox, there are 128 orders for something. Most of them will be for the gift print and or something else. So Ayano-san is not going to want us to bother her today. She is going to just hunker down in front of her machine and get busy. The order processing happens automatically, but we have a policy here where every order that comes in, we give a personal email. So she will write to each one of those 128 people. Someone's got an idea there. When we're in the hanging room, should we point the camera back to this room and see if we can see a flicker? That makes sense. But again, the fact that it's flickering on the MacBook camera. Okay, something happened, what's today? Today's Monday. Something happened on, was it Saturday morning or Friday? Friday or Saturday. Something happened in the shop that was really, really good fun. I had a brand new experience on Friday with something I had heard about in life, but I've never actually done this myself. There's a thing out there, you guys, many of you will know what I'm talking about. There's a thing out there called geocaching. I've heard of it, never done it. My life is kind of full of all kinds of stuff. And anyway, I'm in the middle of an urban area here. I thought geocaching was about people hiding things in trees, and you had to use your phone and GPS and whatever and go and try and find these things. But we had an experience on Friday with geocaching. I'm in the shop, I think it was Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, whatever, Friday afternoon. One of the staff members came up to me and said, Dave, something's going on outside. Like, look outside, look what's happening. And there was a couple outside. They were from Germany, actually. I talked to them quite extensively. But at first we looked outside, and there's a couple, and they are looking in our shop, the part outside our shop, before you come into the shop. They were looking like up the wall, like this, looking at that, looking down. They looked in the umbrella stand, moved it. They looked at my poster where we have our numbering for the YouTube things, like this. The couple was inspecting everything inside. So I'm like, okay, this doesn't seem so bad, but I was really curious about it. So I opened the door and like, can we help you? And he says, oh, no, we didn't want to bother you. We're really sorry. We didn't, he apologized. And I'm like, no problem. And he said, we're looking for something. And whatever, the rest of he explained what geocaching was. I know the idea, but he had his phone and he showed me, look, here. And I guess the accuracy, he said, was within 3 meters accuracy. So this geocache software has a little pin on a map, a Google map something, and the pin is just a couple of meters in front of the front door of our shop. And he explained that it's a thing. They're chasing number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. There's a group of items that have been cached in this part of Tokyo, and one of them has been cached right here in front of Mokuhankan, or at Mokuhankan, or in Mokuhankan. He didn't know. So now I'm interested. Like, what are we looking for? So I'm in the hunt here. What are we looking for? And he says, well, I don't really know. The shape, I guess, can be different things. It can be something very small in a little envelope. It can be a little box. It can be, those of you who know geocaching better than I do have an idea. It could be blah, 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 blah. So we were talking about this before. My mint could be a geocache thing. And I guess so, whatever. Now, before we go any further, I got to tell you, we did find it, 1. And 2, I'm not going to say anything on this stream that will give a hint as to where it is, because this is a thing that's still going on. He said this will be going on for months. It's not just one day event. It's been going on. In fact, he showed me on his phone. It's been, the number of people who have found this thing is all listed. And he said there was 1 in April, 1 in July, then a couple of people in August and September couldn't find it and gave up. This is all listed in the app that he uses for this. And I asked him, well, what happens? You mean people give up? He said, oh, well, there's hints. You can ask for a hint and they'll give you a hint. Or, you can look at the discussion left by previous finders and things like this. So he was convinced it was there until he started looking in the drain grate where the water comes. Right in front of our shop, there's a grate where the storm water goes down. And he looked there. And I'm like beside him looking. I said, it's going to be in there. He says, oh yeah, sometimes they put a hook on the grate and the little cache thing, I forget what he called it, is under the hook. And I said, well, if that's the case, then we have a real problem here, because last Tuesday, I told him last Tuesday, I was part of the team. We opened this grate and we scooped out garbage and stuff that had been built up inside it, and we tossed all that stuff. This has been thoroughly cleaned up. In fact, the whole street, sir, everything around here, anything that's out of the ordinary, we just clean it up and throw it away. And this happens the first Tuesday of every month. And he's like, okay, but just a minute. You do this every month? And I'm like, yeah, we do this every month. He says, but this was found in April. It was found in July. It was found again in October. So this thing has been here for a long time, month over month over month. So it doesn't look like it's in a place that would be hurt by our cleanup team. But I'm interested now. I don't know what I'm looking for, but forget my work. I'm out there on the street with this couple, and I'm like, we can find this thing. So someone's asking about the cones. I pick up the cone and look inside, and he says, no, it wouldn't be in there. It wouldn't be in something movable that could be, you know, moved or taken away or you know, moved around. They looked up in trees. They looked all over the place. They looked in. They didn't look in my mailbox. He said they would never put it in a piece of private property. I mean, it's on property somewhere, but they would never interfere with anybody's personal stuff. You know, whatever. They were Germans. They were from Germany. So whatever, I'm not going to give it away. So I looked there, touched this and feels. I left that. Okay, could it be underneath? He said, yeah. Or so I go underneath something and feel. What am I looking for? I don't know. He said, just whatever, just something that's not normal. You know. So I look here and I look here, and his wife is there, and we're all looking here and looking at the hints left by previous people. One of the previous finders had taken a photograph of the thing itself, so we were able to see the shape of it, and we're looking at the background. The guy had found it. He'd taken a picture of it and the background, and we could see the background was blurred. So we look around, and I say, wait a minute, that looks like that shop awning. So we go over near that shop. We try and stand in the same position where it looks like that photograph was taken to put that blurred awning in the back. But there's, you know, there's nothing there, nothing around. So anyway, long story short, he found it. You know, me and his wife had moved a little bit down the street, and I hear this, ah! And we turn around, and he's standing there with a wonderful smile on his face. Found it. We come and have a look, and it's a place that I already looked, but I don't even know how to find these things. So he did find it. He opened it, put his name in, typed the number into his app, took a picture, all this stuff. And then the two of them, they come in the shop and they buy a couple of prints. So thanks to geocaching. And then off they went to look for the next one. I don't know. So there's the report. So those of you who are into geocaching, maybe you know, is it Tokyo Group A, or I don't have any idea what this is. But if you are involved in this, or somebody who sees this stream later on, there is one of these geocaching groups, whatever, has an item cached right near Mokuhankan here. And don't give up. Don't give up. It's there. It's there. And every now and then when I'm outside, I will, yeah, still there. I'll keep checking to see if it's there. And I did ask him when he was leaving after they'd bought the prints. I said, okay, I got a problem. You got to tell me the protocol here. I know where this thing is. So if I see people, you know, doing what you were doing, if I see people outside the shop hunting, what's the protocol? What do I do? He said, well, of course, you know, don't run out and show them where it is. But it's okay if you go and say hello, and if you let them know that you're aware of this. And he said, if you see them getting, you know, ready to give up or something, don't tell them, but just you can let them know that you know. And then it's up to them if they will say, no, thank you, we don't want people to tell us the secret, or if they, you know, do want to know about it. So he said, please don't tell them outside, don't tell them out front, but it's okay to tell people that you know. And he said, actually, this happens, especially in urban geocaching. There are local people who know what's going on. So sometimes, well, that's one reason why he spoke to me and asked me, you know, do I know where it was? So of course, I would not give this away. It's like talking about this New York Times puzzle we did yesterday, you know. Or today's Wordle. Or today's connections. Today's Wordle. I'm not going to tell you the word, of course, but it took me 6. It pushed me to the limit today. Wordle pushed me to the limit. So Lilac Summer's got the same thing. Today's Wordle pushed me to 6, which is very, very, very unusual. I'm usually 3, 4, sometimes 5. A couple of times a year it pushes me to 6. Today was one such day. But when I say today, I'm talking about Monday's Wordle. Some Lilac Summer says, took me 6. But are you talking about Mondays or Sundays? So Sunday pushed you to 6, did it? Really? Let's have a look here. I'm not going to say the word because you're still on Sunday. But Sunday for me, what was Sunday? The 9th? Yeah. Sunday for me was 5. Okay, fair enough. Yes, yes. Again, not say any more about it, but yes. My starter word isn't English. It allows it, but my starter word isn't English. Someone's got, they're working with sweet to kill 3 vowels. So mine, somebody's got it there. Mine has 4 vowels. Okay. Okay, well, while we're on that topic then of the New York Times puzzle group, the puzzle, the Sunday puzzle, I'm weeks behind, so I can talk about this safely. I finished just the other day, it'll be the Sunday puzzle from, I guess it's 3 weeks ago, I don't know. Talking About My Generation was the title. And even when I was finished, I didn't get it. All the letters were filled in. I did the puzzle, but I didn't get why the theme Talking About My Generation. And a bunch of the themed words were marked with generation names, as in, this is something a boomer would say, a millennial, a Gen X. But I still didn't get it, even once it was all there. Is that what a boomer would say, or is it a joke about something a boomer would say? So that one kind of went over my head. Yeah, the title, it's not about the who, the title was Talking About My Generation, but it wasn't all about that song. Some of the clues were tagged with generation identities, like the very first across one, the theme. It was something, 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 boomer, then something, something, millennial, something, something, Gen X. And the guy had used a Who lyric as the title to tie that theme together. But I honestly didn't get it. It's going nicely today. The paper is very absorbent. I might be chatting too much, but I'm still getting the work done. It's a nice, Murata-san's paper really is nice to work with when we get it right. The liquid is flowing into the paper. We're getting our good tapuri. I think we're okay on this. I think the printers will be happy. Should be 21st sheet. I'm not counting. If somebody's counting, I'll be able to tell you in a minute. Well, in fact, we can tell you right now. We're 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 sheets left in the second group of 3. Remember, I told you I cut the paper in thirds. I kept them separate here. Group 1, 2, 3. And there's 5 sheets left in the second group. So that should identify this one. For anybody who is counting. Is this paper done with rice powder? Yes, all of Marata-san's paper is done this way. All of it. All of it. That was a requirement. That's part of the specs. I don't mean all the paper that her workshop makes. She may be making other types of paper now to do for other people's requirements. The paper she makes for me, for our woodblock prints, is done using rice powder instead of white clay. But I can't say all of her paper going out into the world is like that. I'm sorry, I don't have that data. I don't know that. Looking good, looking good. Has she started making paper for anybody? I don't know all the background. She is still involved in experiments, making different kinds of paper. You know, she wants to do lots of different things in the paper making world. She certainly wants to make paper with Gampi, and I know that she's made some and sold some Gampi paper. She told me about it, going to Kyoto. But so I don't know. I only see her once in a while. She wants to learn lots about papermaking, and she wants to have lots of different clients, but she's not really interested in running a large-scale workshop. To my knowledge, last time I spoke to her about this, she hasn't hired anybody yet. She's still working on her own. This is the last sheet in the second group, so this must be number 26 for those who were counting. Someone's wondering why I'm doing the same job here that I was doing the other day. Whatever, this is one of the stages between growing trees in the forest and delivering a woodblock print to the customer. This is one of the stages. I'm the bottleneck. I'm really the only person here in the company who knows how to do this well. Other printers here are learning how to do it. So I'm the one who is doing this. And at the moment, a bunch of different threads have collided. So you saw this today, Saturday, and Thursday. You won't be seeing this work again probably for a couple of weeks because there's enough paper prepared now. So I'm sorry if it's boring to see the same thing. I'll be doing something different on Thursday. Not quite sure what. No, I understand. Over the weekend, the shop was still very, very busy. Sunday was just busy. Saturday was chaos busy. Biggest day, the cash register was the biggest day ever in the shop. Good question here. The shelf stability on this. This is an interesting question. I don't have an absolute answer for you. I can just describe the experience we've had. We understand that in the old days, pre-war in the old days, each workshop, for the most part, did sizing by themselves, as it is that we're doing it now. So we size for the jobs that are coming up this week. So the sized paper doesn't sit for a long time. We're not concerned about shelf life. We use it pretty much right away. That's the older way of doing it, and this is the way our workshop is doing it. But in the post-war period in general, 1960s, 70s, 80s, it arose, they were professional sizers. And for the first, I don't even know, 20 years plus of me doing it, I would order the paper from the paper maker, ask him to ship it to the sizer, who would then call me, what do you want on this stuff, Dave? And I would just say, just give me a general size, not too strong, not too weak, bang. And he would take the whole stack of 500 sheets, do this, hang it up, and a week or so later, I would get the package. And that would sit in my shelf and get used bit by bit by bit. And it's fluctuated over the years, but when things were going well and there was money to order paper and stuff like that, I was running about 2 years in advance. So the paper I got from the sizer went on the shelf and sat there for sometimes as much as 2 years before using it. And it's not just me. If you, other workshops as well, had paper sized in big batches and then used it in smaller batches as time went by in different seasons. And this is a very curious point. You've heard me talk about this. In summer, we increase the glue, and in winter, we decrease the glue. Because when we're using the paper, it's weaker in summer because of the warm weather, and it's stronger in winter, so we don't need as much glue. But there's a kind of a paradox here in that what happens to paper that was sized in the summer at a certain degree of formula that is then going to be used in the winter? Well, it seems that it doesn't matter. This thing about the formula and doing it with more glue in the summer and less glue in the winter, it seems to matter at the point of sizing. And then later on, when you're printing, you can use that paper in any season, and it seems to work. This is interesting. There's something deep there. I don't understand how this all works chemically. People are saying I missed a sheet. That's wet. That's wet. How far back do we need to go? That's wet. I think I'm okay, guys. That's wet. That's wet. I think I'm okay. The formaldehyde you're talking about, this doesn't work at the sizing time. That's not when it was used. Formaldehyde was something used by the printers, maybe some of them are still using it, because it's trying to kill mold because the paper stays wet for weeks while we're printing. Sizing, it's one and done. Size it, hang it, it's dry. There's no risk of mold whatsoever. The formaldehyde has been used by printers because the paper stays wet for weeks. We don't use it. We have nothing to do with that stuff here. I did try it earlier in my career, gave up for common sense. This paper is for print number 11, DF11. It's the black hole. We're visiting a black hole in DF11. What do you do if we need to keep paper wet for 3 to 4 days? We keep paper wet for weeks, and what we do is right here. A freezer, right here, right where I am. This is the freezer. The printers print during the day, and they pack it up in the late afternoon, and they stick it in the freezer, where it becomes a brick. And my job in the morning, you heard us talking about this perhaps earlier in today's stream. Did I take the paper out? I get up at 6 every morning, boom, first thing up here, toilet first, and then up here, take the paper out of the freezer. So that by the time they get here, it's defrosted. So somebody says, we could do a marathon sizing stream and I'll be good for the year. The thing is, we've already learned that some of the sizing I do, send it to the printers, and they're like, no, it's too weak. The paper's starting to pill up, so I adjust the next one. We're doing it on a case-by-case basis, and if I was trying to do it for the year, I would be terrified that I wouldn't get it right for all the different jobs we have. Because I'm customizing it for Iwano paper or Murata paper, and we're customizing it for the specific job they're doing. So I'm still unsure how this all works. We've found a formula that works for us, a way of doing it that works for us, and there's no way I would dare to try and do a batch of 500 sheets, throw it on the shelf and say, okay guys, just use it whenever you want. No way. So the other difference, so somebody's got this. When we sent it to Misawa-san, he, of course, could not chop the paper up to do this. So Misawa-san has massive brushes, the professional sizer. He may be retired now, I don't know if he's still doing it. He has massive brushes because the sheets of paper go from the paper maker to him, and nobody at that point knows what prints will be made from it. So he must size the entire sheet without cutting it. Hang it up, big sheets, hang it up without cutting it. And there's no way, I don't have any capability to do that. So the other advantage to the way we're doing it is that I cut this paper last night before going to bed, and I knew exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, room for the clips at the top. We customize every sizing job to the specific printing job. And the professional sizer over there can't do that. He can only work on entire sheets at a time. I can't imagine that, working on a full sheet of takinaga, the brush, dip, dip, bwap. There's no way I have that kind of skill. No way. What did they do in the old days with no electricity? Well, worked during the day. What do you mean? Oh, you mean for heating it up? I don't know. You tell me. Little flame, gas, no idea. Wood fire? I mean, how did they cook rice before they had electricity? How would we do that? In one corner of the workshop, there's going to be a stove of some kind then, wood stove, I guess in the old days. There's no gas, there's no electricity. There must be a wood stove in the building. They'd put the glue in a double boiler. It's like saying Stradivarius. How did he make violins with rabbit glue? How did he heat it up? I don't know, some kind of double boiler. Candles, small flame, a stove? I don't know. Printing in the winter was a big thing. Yes, yes, yes. Depending on the kind of work, simple work, I know, book pages and stuff like that, most of that was done in the winter because it was low-skilled work. And we were talking about agricultural workers from Tohoku who had no work during the winter because, you know, snow. So they migrated to Tokyo. There was a huge amount of seasonal labor migration in Japan in the old days. Anybody who is an agricultural worker, once the snow comes, we're talking the north part of Japan, they're out of work. So in many places, papermaking was one of the things that would have been done during the winter by agricultural workers, because papermaking work runs all year long. Woodblock printing, a lot of it simpler was done, a lot of the simpler printing was done by migrant agricultural workers. Came down to Tokyo, Edo, get trained for a few days. We're not talking making gorgeous ukiyo-e prints. We're talking simple one color, rub it, rub it, rub it. You can train in 5 minutes. Okay, here's our last sheet. We're then going to flip it. This must be sheet number 39. They got no numbers, but whatever. Halfway. Now for the back side. How many extra sheets do you prepare for printing mistakes? Well, at this point, we're not thinking at that point at all. We're not making limited editions at Mokuhankan. So whenever we have a batch of prints that comes out, we don't need to put exactly 100 into the market and sign them. If that were the case, if we're trying to make the printing job that's being done, if I needed exactly 100, yeah, I would need to put extra in here. Not so much for sizing mistakes, because that's really not a thing, but printers, they never get 100%. Of course, you've seen me do this. I lose 5, 10% or something. I'm a klutz. Kubota-san would lose 2 or 3% max, and sometimes just run it all through. So at the printing stage, yeah, we would need to put extra in. But we're not making limited editions. This is just another batch. And when this is finished, we'll take the same blocks, make another batch. So if there were a bit too many bad ones in the previous group, the next printer would just have to make a few more to make up for it. So we don't know. We don't have a specific count. Now, because I've been trying to fill this with liquid, because I tried to dump as much liquid on the front as I could, this paper is now quite saturated. So on the back side here, I've got to be careful. If I did the same level of moisture in the brush now as I did for the front, it would flood it too much. So I've got to knock off enough liquid so that I can make it properly moist, but with no standing water on the top of it. I've got a bit of water here. I don't think we can see it in the camera. No, I don't. No, you can see the shininess here. No, actually it's already soaked in. The water stands for a moment on the top and then drinks in. But if it turns out that I've put so much moisture on that it can't seep in, that's a disaster. The next sheet would go on top of that, would stick, and we'd have trouble. So this is the most, I can't say difficult, this is the most carefully calculated part of the process. How much liquid for the backside? Did we hear the door open and close? Footsteps? The door open and closed, but nobody's upstairs. Stud pouch. Someone looking for a geocache. Yeah, right. It was fun, you know. I wasted time there with that German couple looking for that little cache. I wasted, like, what was it, 20, 25 minutes, you know. He didn't want to give up, and I didn't want to give up, and I didn't even know what we were doing, but we got to find this thing, you know. And I was disappointed in myself that it hadn't been me that found it. I mean, I didn't even know what we were looking for, so of course I couldn't find it. But the place it was, I had checked already, you know. I must have been really within an inch or so of touching it, but I missed it. And as it turned out, the guy himself found it. But that would have been me, you know, I can find this, you know, you experts, you know what you're doing, but I can do this, I can do this. So it's just as well that he found it, because if I had, you'd never hear the end of it. Let me tell you about this day when the experts got into it. Man, oh man, I'm so full of myself sometimes. I can't understand how people can bear to hang around here, you know. Anyway, he found it, not me, so. No, I'm not going to get involved. My life is full enough without getting involved. Someone's asked about the way we pay people. You know, we have struggled with this. Original intent was to pay all production workers on a per piece basis, so that the fastest, most productive ones could earn more, and the ones who were slower, not so productive, could earn basically and be supported. The idea was to do it for both, for printers and carvers. I struggled with it. The idea to pay the carvers a basic advance royalty, because at the point they're making it, there's no way to count prints. With printers, you can easily, you give them 100 sheets of paper, prints are good, you pay them for the prints. But with carvers, there's no counting involved. So I tried to do it by first paying an advanced royalty, the percentage of a print sold, paid advance, like a book author gets an advance. But it just didn't work. It just didn't work. So at the moment, there's 2 carvers on staff, Taran-san and Chon-san, and they are salaried people. It's not really the way I wanted to do it, but after just endless struggle trying to figure it out. And there's no problem. They're happy with this because actually at the moment, both of them are very much underworked. I mean, got to be careful what I said. Someone's questioning Taran-san underworked. He has multiple employers. He works for me. He's got his master, Asuka Sensei, and he's got his own projects. So I didn't mean to imply that Taran-san is a lazy guy doing nothing. My point is, in my percentage of his world, we're not stressing him so much right now. That's all I tried to say. He may be actually personally extremely stressed with work right now. I don't hear all the story. I don't know. So don't misunderstand that. At the moment, Mokuhankan is doing what it can do not to stress him overly. Yeah, we're getting some sticking here. Some of these sheets are sticking. I've been doing tappuri. Maybe I did a bit too much tappuri. Maybe, I don't know. Why did I mark that sheet? That was one that stuck together. I want to have a look at it when they're dry. There was 2 of them that stuck together at the end. So I marked that. It might be impossible to tell them apart, but I wanted to see it, have a look at it. What's going on? People keep coming into the stairs and then abandoning. What's going on? Don't know. When we put the paper in the freezer, do we need to put something between each sheet? No, it's the normal bundle that goes in. When we are printing, we've normally got our printing paper stacked up. In my habit is usually to do a dozen sheets or so, newspaper, a dozen sheets, newspaper. For me, it just gets wrapped up. We fold it carefully so the printing paper stays together and it freezes into a block. When we pull it out of the freezer in the morning, you can't separate it. All the printed papers are just stuck together into a huge block. That's why they've got to come out a couple of hours in advance so that it can all defrost before the printers try and use it. It just goes in there just as the printers use it in their working environment. No special treatment. Looking good. We're going well today. Looking good. After this is done this morning, I'm going to work with Anasan for a while, go through some of the orders and see if there's things that need special attention or anything. If you were one of the people who ordered any of the prints over the weekend, and there's many, many orders, well over 100 orders, if you're one of those people, it might be today you'll get an answer. It might not be till tomorrow or the next day. And then, as somebody's asking a question, my next job then, I got to get to the construction company. I've got to take my sketches over to the company and start the process of our new renovation, our winter renovation. We got sidetracked last week by the Ninja building thing that happened. As I mentioned, it's almost certain that that's not going to happen. So either this afternoon, if there's time for it, or tomorrow when the shop is closed, I will be heading over to the construction company offices with my sketches and trying to get the process started. The process of getting an estimate and getting some, design advice and stuff like this. Whether we're going to be able to do it, whether they have time to do it, whether we can afford it, all the different questions, I'm not sure, but I've got to start the process now. I'm sure we can afford it. Just a question of, trying to make them understand what we want and then trying to get it to happen. There's the door again. You heard it this time. Oh, it's Aimi-san. This time's different. I recognize the slippers. This is printer Aimi-san coming to work. Morning, good morning. Someone says they're excited for the end of the year video. My God, I haven't even started to think about that yet. Here we are in mid-November. The end of the year video is going to be more difficult this time because it's not, it's difficult. The videos have been really repetitive. Look at this, the numbers are bigger than ever before. We're so happy. This year it's going to be different. Who were there before the ninjas? I think it was the real estate office themselves, the real estate company, the one I went to speak to last week. That used to be their office. When we moved into our building here in the autumn of 2014, that building was being renovated at the same time. And the first tenants in the new renovation, the building is old, but the first tenants after that renovation was the real estate company themselves. It's called Rich Life. Then somewhere along the line, they moved out and opened it up for rent. Was there another tenant in there before the ninja? I don't remember. I don't think so. Someone said, do we have a shop? Yeah, I'm in it. It's downstairs. I'm on the 3rd floor. The shop is on the 1st floor. Yeah, going by the way that leases work, 3-year leases, the ninjas left on October the 31st, 2025, so they must have come November the 1st, 2022. Yeah, they must have started in autumn of 2022, the ninjas. Yeah, they did. They brought a lot of life, yeah, the ninjas. What I'm afraid of now, of course, is that we'll get a junk food shop. Some greasy food that people will order at the counter and walk around the street with greasy food. That's the concern at the moment now. The space over there is not big enough for a sit-down restaurant. It's really only big enough for a window. They can make their crap food in the back space and sell it out the window for people to walk around. Or put chairs on the sidewalk again. I'm not optimistic about something interesting coming over there. How's our time? 9:20. We're just going to finish up in time, I think. still got a deck here. Oh, is that Google Street View with the broom? Is that still there? That must be just after we opened. We opened in the fall of 2014. And then the Google camera caught me, I guess, somewhere in the next spring. I didn't even notice it. The Street View Google car came down with all its cameras. I didn't notice it. I was looking at the ground sweeping up. The car must have driven straight in front of me. This is heavy now. I can feel the heaviness of this whole thing. The paper is long, it's wide, it's thick paper. The paper by itself is heavy. I've been putting a heavy coat on it. This board now. What have we used? I put 2 liters in there. There's easily more than a liter of water has gone in here already. Okay, we're almost done here. There's about 5 or 6 sheets left here. I'm not quite sure. Update for Thursday. There's an idea in play for Thursday. It's possible we might have a guest. I've made an invitation. Somebody from an acquaintance / friend, whatever, from overseas, who I've known known off and on for decades, is visiting Tokyo, visiting Japan, and I put out an invitation to join me on the stream on Thursday. Nothing's decided. They may not want to do this, but there is a chance we might have a fun guest on Thursday. Let's see how it plays. I kind of hope so. It will be fun, but no decision yet. So. Will my guest help with the desk cleanup? You know, I don't really think it would be fair to do that. I don't. No. If we're going to do a desk cleanup, we'll do it, we'll do it sometime. But I don't think it would be fair to burden a guest, an interesting person whose conversation we want to hear, not mixed up with playing silly games. So no, we wouldn't do that. No, I'm not trying to tease you or play games, whatever. It's not the repeat. No, this would be a new guest, someone we haven't had before. Oh, I know something I forgot. Maybe you guys know something about this. I know, Sensei Marjan was here the other day, last week or so. And he told me that he is booting up, and he's doing the Tokyo walk thing. He's got a plan to walk from one end of Tokyo to the other. Was it today? Do you know about this? Is today the day that Sensei Marjan is doing his Tokyo walk? Because we're supposed to go and raid him at the end. November 15th. Jet Saturday. Wait, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15. Okay, Saturday. Okay, Jet, please help me remind them, because he's starting at like 4 o'clock in the morning or something. I don't even know what time. And by the time he gets to us, he's in Okutama or whatever. And I told him, sure, if you're up and you're live and you're doing it, we can raid you partway through your Tokyo walk. Tokyo Prefecture. There's no such thing as Tokyo City. Did I say Tokyo City? It's Tokyo Prefecture. Tokyo To. Well, whichever way you translate it, there's Todofuken. Anyway, he didn't ask me to do this, but as soon as I know what's going on, of course, let's do this, let's raid. But I forgot what day it was. So I'll need your help to remind me about this. Next Saturday. Okay. Okay. For those of you who don't know, Tokyo actually is really, really a big place. It's not just 35 million people. It's physically very wide. For me to get to my house in Tokyo takes about 2 hours by train, and I'm sort of only around halfway to the end of it. There is a lot of mountainous, rural, isolated Tokyo as well. And Jason's going to start at the countryside up in Yamanashi, at the border with Yamanashi, and he's going to walk through to the Chiba border. And it's going to take him like all day, early in the morning till late at night. So the two ends of his stream might be quite dark. I don't know how he's going to plan it. And yeah, watch for bears. Well, he's going to be on roads, I guess. He's not really bushwhacking very much. But yeah, maybe it's a concern. Get eaten by a bear live on stream. Okay, this is our last sheet of paper. 9:30. Look at this. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, I'm done. My next job now will be to hang this up. But because we had a switch in our routine today, we'll be shutting it down now at 9:30. Okay, here we are. It hasn't been all that interesting, I'm sorry. We'll try and get away from sizing for a while. I'm not sure what job will be next. It would be really, really fun if Thursday's a guest. We can just sit and chat and have some good conversation. Saturday, what will I be doing? I don't know. I still don't know if I'm in the printing crew for DF11 or not. Or no, DF10. I'm not sure if I'm needed for the printing crew. It's possible I'll be back doing some printing. I'm trying to avoid that because I'm trying to get involved on the renovation work that needs to be done. Whatever, we'll be doing something or other. Thank you very much for visiting. See you again in a couple of days, a few days. Didn't even hang my laundry. Look at this. This is my next job. Hanging my pool laundry. Okay. Thanks very much. See you in a few days. Signing off. 3, 2, 1. Bye for now.